Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early lie. I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's every branch and leaf. They're born to deceive, but I'm telling you the truth. It's not just one or two, it's every single Jew. They all hate you, and it really breaks my heart. But their lies are off the charts, and they only bring us harm. You gotta get smart. So if you want to be safe and don't want to get replaced, it's best you start being based, or you'll get erased. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life. I know it's hard to accept that all the ones you've met lie with every single breath. They want you dead, but you must not be weak. Just open your eyes and see they always exploit the meek. See their vampire teeth, and it can make you cry to learn your life was full of lies and their face was a disguise. But you must fight. So if you want to live and protect all of your kin, you have to grow thick skin, or we won't. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life.
It's not my fault that I have to do this. You only pick on me because I'm Jewish. Stop being a jealous loser and go get a job. I can do what I want because I'm chosen by God. If I don't run your media, someone else will. If I don't edit Wikipedia, someone else will. If I don't limit your reach, someone
Who's responsible for it all? Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free.
You niggas know what time it is, baby. We're about to get lit. Let's go.
What do you see when staring back at your reflection? Are you proud or ashamed? Do you claim to see perfection? The mirror does not lie, yet you have the wrong answer. You're a liar that demands respect. Such arrogance is cancer. You lie like a Jew to comfort your troubled soul. Afraid of taking responsibility, refusing to grow old. You need to wake up, you still think this is a game. Why would anyone fear a child who's afraid of names? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's responsible for it all? Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free.
You know what time it is, baby. It's time to get lit. We about to cook tonight. Let's go.
Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free.
Y'all been Marco.
Who put the golden cuffs on you if not yourself? Who offered up their wrists for promises of comfort and wealth? But you know they are lies, fantasies that keep you in place. The lies that you repeat, which help enslave your race. Nobody respects a coward. No one kneels to a boy. No playtime for you. Go to your room, you little boy. Want to be free? I'll tell you what to do. Next time you look in the mirror, accept the damn truth. Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Got a banger show planned for you guys tonight, man. It's going to be litty. It's going to be litty. Like the goddamn video. Y'all know what time it is. Peak Weaver Bros.
Who's responsible for it all?
DJ Gates in the house.
Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free.
All right, and we are live. We are live. What's up, guys? It is September 7th, 2025. Shout out to Nick Brown with the gifted sub. Appreciate you. We got Mordecai on the screen. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. We are live. We are live. We are live. Let me see here. I got a quick little workout in before jumping on the stream with you guys. You guys know I do a lot of calisthenics nowadays, especially. I don't lift weights as much. But, you know, 35 years old, still staying in pretty damn good shape, so it's always a W. Where'd it go here? Where did I put my goddamn chat? All right, I'll figure this shit out. But yeah, we are here, guys. Happy to have you on Ninjas here. We got a couple things that we're going to talk about. We're going to cover some news, Department of War, this crazy guy that stabbed this innocent woman on the train in Charlotte. We're going to talk about the Karen that stole a baseball from a kid. Got a lot of stuff that we're going to be discussing here. So it's going to be a good show. Start a little bit later because I had to get all my stuff together. And then also I think we're going to bring Andrew Branca on as well to discuss some self-defense at around 9 to 9:30. So I'm going to message him right now. What else here? Also, big announcement, guys. We are going to be at Asheville, North Carolina, September 11th. All right? September 11th, we are going to be there. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time. So if you guys live in the North Carolina area, if you guys live in near Asheville, I will be out there at the, I think it's called the University of North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to be there. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited for it. And yeah, we're going to cook, chat. We are going to cook, man. You know, unlike a lot of these other people, I think I'm like one of the few people that goes on these college campuses and actually like, you know, live streams it, no edits, none of that bullshit like everybody else. So we on some real ninja timing, man. We're definitely on some real ninja timing. So it's going to be a good time. So that's going to be September 11th. September 11th, we will be there, 9/11/2025. We will be in North Carolina. Let me read some of these chats. Okay. Alboy says, and this is why Daniel Penny did what he did. And it blows my mind how that got national coverage and the poor Ukrainian girl getting killed by that guy didn't. Imagine if the roles reversed that. Dreadheaded guy needs to get publicly executed. Hey, bro, it's fucked up. Ralph, welcome, bro. Welcome to the OSS. Appreciate you. Albo Ace, if that chick was racist, she would have sat in a different seat and would have probably still been alive today. Racism and bigotry saves lives. It does to a degree, bro, for sure. Especially since in her country, they don't have black people. So she's not aware. You know what I mean? Ukraine doesn't have black people. And if they are, they're like, you know, people that aren't scumbags, right, from America and shit, not like black criminals. Jazzy Tar Heel says, as a father of an 8-year-old daughter and 6-year-old son, the story of Hind Rajab you told the other day hit me hard. I was listening at work and had to step outside because I started tearing up at the thought of that happening to someone so young. I have never hugged them tighter. Fuck anyone who hurts kids. Jazzy, thank you so much. You know, like I said, I didn't share that story to, you know, make you guys cry or anything like that, or make you guys, you know, hate the Israelis or bear some type of, you know, hatred towards them. But I told that story because it puts things in perspective, right? Like I get so many messages all the time. Myron, you focus so much on criticizing Israel. You know, go back to the red pill stuff, talk about the girls, which I still do that too, right? And the Money Mondays and everything else like that. But I'm very passionate about this topic for a couple of different reasons. For one, as you guys know, these motherfuckers, these Zionists, they took my money, right? They demonetized me, right? Unjustly. Meanwhile, everybody else is doing the same shit, if not worse. And they took my money from me because of me bringing attention to this matter before it was cool to do so, FYI. I brought attention to this matter before it was fucking cool to do so. I brought Ryan Dawson on, Nick Fuentes, a bunch of guys that talk about this topic. And, you know, obviously you paid the price for it. It is what it is. So yes, I'm not going to lie to you guys and say, oh yeah, I don't have like a personal grievance. I absolutely do. But also, what they're doing, not just in Gaza and the West Bank, but what they're doing to the entire Arab world, right, is fucking atrocious. And I'm glad that this is finally getting the recognition it needs to get, because, you know, guys know my family's from Sudan. Anyone from the Middle East is already red-pilled on this shit. Yeah, I mean, you guys saw that Egyptian girl come on the show. She was Christian. What was she saying? All the shit that we can't say here, right? And that's like standard, by the way. The whole Arab world thinks the shit that she was saying, right? She would never, you can't say that shit publicly, but this is what a lot of people think. So I look at it like, we need to bring awareness to this fucking problem. It goes beyond them just like censoring me and censoring people that I know. It's like not only do they censor people, but they censor people that talk about this topic, and they kill fucking kids. That's what pisses me off. So, you know, I'm glad that you know, that video is able to touch you. I actually wanted to play it during the middle of this stream too, once the viewership gets higher, because I want to bring more and more awareness to everyone. So I'm actually going to play the video again later on. I played it at the beginning of the show yesterday because I was so touched by it. Pause. That I had to play. I wanted to play in the beginning, but I'm going to play it again when we have the viewership up a bit, because I think everybody needs to know about Hind Rajab. Everybody needs to know, because what happened to her is absolutely terrible. And the crazy part is that there's tens of thousands of children that are just like her. And honestly, living in a world where we have the ability to text each other from the other side of the world, but if a kid calls 911, they can't get help. Fuck that, bro. Fuck that. So we definitely need to bring awareness. So I appreciate you, Jazzy, for you know, for supporting. No, Billy, WMRWOSS, here's a daily dose of racism for all my ninjas. Put Instagram reel in there. Okay. For all you guys that are on OSS, go ahead and click that. YouTube tax, good evening, Myron. OSS and broke bitches, thank you so much. OU still sucks. Lavelle says, have you thought about doing a documentary on your law enforcement days? And are there any closed case you could do a full deep dive on? One of my biggest ones is still open. That's why I haven't talked about it. But I will talk about it soon enough. Has to do with the Tamil Tigers in Sri Lanka. FD says, Rob Moore made a video talking about a possible upcoming recession or depression, saying all the wealthy people are selling assets to prepare, and property prices in the US and UK have already dropped and possibly dropping further. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and it's nothing like that. Property is going up 10% a year. What are your thoughts, and who does this affect? Would you break this down? Bro, there's been fear-mongering like this since the pandemic started, bro. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? What you need to focus on as a normie guy, I'll tell you what you need to focus on as a normie, right? If you're not like a millionaire or super rich, you need to make 6 figures. That's what I will say. If you, guys, if you live in the West nowadays and you don't make 6 figures, like especially United States, bro, you're fucking cooked. You're fucking cooked, bro. There's no way around it. You need to make 6 figures a year, bro. If you guys want to be able to live your life to a certain level in the US, bro, you gotta be 6 figures, man. Unfortunately. You know, the days of making 50, 60K per year and being straight, those days are done, bro. That's what I will say, for sure. For sure. The world's not gonna end. It's just that it's gonna basically what's gonna happen is if you're broke, it's gonna be magnified. And I think every single one of you guys in here, look, let me tell y'all something, bro. Because some of you guys are probably watching me right now, and you guys are like, Myron, you know, I need to make more money, blah, blah, blah. Look, and this isn't like some cheesy-ass pep talk. This is me just being honest. If you're watching my stream, if you watch me, if you're a fan of my content, right? You do realize that you're already higher IQ, right? Let me be clear about this. And this isn't just to big y'all niggas up or whatever, but I want to be very, very fucking clear and specific about this. If you watch Fresh and Fit, if you watch my political show, whatever it may be, you already have higher IQ than most people because you have the ability to critically think, okay? Most people watch my content and don't like the abrasive attitude, don't like me using racial terms, don't think I'm an anti-Semite, misogynist, all this other bullshit, right? But you had the wherewithal to be like, you know what, let me see. Oh, nah, this guy talks about other stuff, blah, blah, blah. You didn't fall for the bullshit narrative, right? The ability to critically think puts you in a class of your own already. I would rather, you know, have less education and be able to critically think than have, you know, 7 degrees and still be a moron, which is what most people are. Most people hide their stupidity via degrees and education, okay? And I can tell you guys this as someone who went to a prestigious university and has a degree, that a lot of these people that go to school are just good followers. They're good at taking tests and memorizing. They're good with the way that we set up the education system now. But they're not necessarily critical thinkers. And if you guys don't believe me, please go watch the interview, go watch the debates I did at USC a couple of days ago. We had kids that are college students unable to critically think. Now, why am I saying all this and glazing you niggas a little bit? Pause. I'm saying it because if you have the ability, right, to not listen to the bullshit, watch my content, especially with how controversial it is, that means you're able to critically think. If you are able to critically think, there's no fucking excuse why not every single one of you guys watching me right now should be making $100,000 a year. Every single one of you guys watching me right now, just off the fact that you can critically think, all of you niggas can make $10K a month, bro. Okay? All of you. All right? So I don't want to hear any excuses. You need to make $10,000 a month as a man. I'm sorry, bro. There's no way around it. 10K a month, every single one of y'all niggas could do it. Whether you're 18 and watching me, or you're in high school and you're watching me and you're gonna, you know, you wanna make something of yourself, or you're in your 30s, or you're in your 40s. Every single one of you guys, because I have a very broad supporter base. Like, it's incredible when I meet you guys in person. You know, the varying ages, it's wild. But every single one of you guys, if you're not making 6 figures already, I guarantee you guys can. Just because you're able to critically think and go against the grain. And that is a big part and a big trait that you need to have to be able to be a higher earner, right? Being able to critically think, be an independent thought provoker, not following the norms, etc. So every single one of y'all could do it, bro. Ken Rose says, greetings, Myron. You mentioned them boys in relation to the Bolsheviks the other day on stream. Are you saying them boys had a major role in the... We covered this a bit, but yeah, bro, the Bolshevik Revolution was horrible. No one ever talks about that for obvious reasons, though. Robin Colby with the gifted sub. Thank you so much, Robin. Robin Colby is that guy on Kick, bro. Okay. We got here Knox. Myron, I imagine you DJing this for a big virtual crowd, which is essentially what's happening. Yeah, bro. Yo, DJ Gaines, bro. Oh, by the way, all that music comes from my guy, Lucas Gage. Okay? If you guys want to check him out, Lucas Gage X on Twitter. He also came out with Boom Boom Tel Aviv. Lavelle, how about getting as many law enforcement guys on the pod tell us about life, local PD, state feds, or every agency, personal buddies of yours on the job? I'm working on that right now for you guys right now, actually. I had a very big case on an organization that was using fake Border Patrol units. I'm talking to my buddy and I want to get him on camera. No, not on camera. He won't be on camera, but I want to get him on stream and talk to y'all about that case. I promise you guys are going to get that case. The clone Border Patrol unit case, which I did back in 2015, happened December 11th, I'll never forget, 2015, is the reason I have the gray hairs I have now. That was the beginning of me starting to get stressed. One of the most stressful cases I ever had in my life, bro. Holy shit, man. Just thinking about it right now is giving me the shivers. Pause. Anyway, Jamie, yep. And I got another buddy who works for the FBI. As soon as he retires, bro, we're going to start a pod, bro. I already told that nigga. I said, bro, as soon as you finish, as soon as you retire, we're doing a podcast, bro. Good friend of mine. We still talk to this day. We did a Lion King case together back in like 2015. Known that guy for 10 years now. God damn, bro. Real good dude, man. Real fun good dude. Like, if you met him or if you talked to him, you would never think he was an FBI agent. Black dude. Real cool. Nigerian. Very smart. You would never think he's with the feds. But yeah, one day, guys, when he retires, we're gonna do a pod, and I probably y'all gonna love it, man. You guys are gonna love it. Let's see here. Make sure I got it here. Let me make sure I didn't miss any chats from you guys. All right, Kmar Line says, hey, Myron, any actionable steps on how to come up with a plan to make six figures? Get a skill set. If you don't have a skill set, then you're gonna have to work multiple jobs, but it's completely possible. Kmar, I work in medical laboratory. I noticed that a lot, especially for women, they can't think on their own. Yeah, that's, bro, because that's a byproduct of the education system, bro. Steve Redpill, what high-income skill would you recommend young guys to learn online? Things are changing, bro. Things are changing. I used to say copywriting and shit like that, but that's starting to go down the wayside. I would say this, dude. We did an episode on this with Brandon Carter. Go on Fresh and Fit. And look at the last episode we did with Brandon Carter, and we covered a bunch of them. Ozzy, why do you let girls stay on the podcast after they repeatedly disrespect you now? Ozzy Oz, you must be new here, bro. You must be new here. I used to kick girls off the show immediately. But I think you guys learn more from letting them sit there and make themselves look foolish. So yeah. Nigga must have not tuned in for a couple of years. Yuru says, I live in Gastonia, North Carolina, 2-hour drive from Asheville, and I will be there to see you. Asheville is the most liberal city in North Carolina. It's full of alphabet people, so you're going to have some fun. They are not ready for you, LOL. Okay. Thank you for that, Uruguay. Appreciate you warning me about that. And yeah, dude, let me know. If you're OSS guy and you show up, guys, bro, y'all niggas get crazy love. So make sure you let me know. Tom82 says, you're one of the few covering that story, Myron. Thank you. Absolutely, bro. Yeah, that's, if you're talking about Henry Job, for sure. Steve Redpill, any thoughts on joining a fraternity in college with like-minded guys who are into fitness and brotherhood? Yeah, go for it, bro. I've talked about it before. When you're in college as a guy, you need to join some kind of community. So me, I was an athlete, but if you want to go ahead and join a frat, go ahead. Just don't be a degenerate partying and drinking all day, because that's what a lot of them niggas do. So that's what you just want to, just don't be a degen. I could personally attest that colleges in North Carolina playing painfully blue pilled. That stream is going to be gold. Yeah. It's gonna, and I'm gonna do it on 9/11 too. You already know what that means. Did you see the judge, Teresa? Did you see the judge, Teresa Stokes, who let that piece of shit out of jail on a written promise that he would appear in court? Women should not be held in power. Holy, yeah, bro, that shit crazy. Yeah, that footage, just like you guys, infuriated me when I saw it. It's crazy, bro, because I was going to tweet this the other day, but I didn't tweet it, right? Because I was like, whatever. But I'll say it to you guys since I'm here on stream. It really annoys me how people will sit there and say, oh, Myron, you're a misogynist, you hate women, right? But in reality, if people adopted my worldview, women would never get hurt. Would you go figure, right? Shout out to Malin Gantz with the gifted sub. And Merkius as well, thank you. Because think about it, guys, right? I advocate for women to be home and be with the kids, not be out late at night. And if they are out late at night, be with their man, right? Now, I'm not going to use this tragedy that occurred to sit here and tell you guys like, oh, told you so, like to substantiate my belief system, right? But what I am saying is, I think that there's certain classes of people that need to be protected, right? I see you guys know that one of my trigger points is anytime kids suffer. But also, the things I say that I say about women, though it might come off abrasive, it's really for their own good. Okay? When I say that women need to be protected and provided for, no one ever clips that. They only clip the part where I say that they're bimbos, which a lot of them are, by the way. But that is precisely why we need to protect and provide for them, right? You can't have it both ways. Because I know the fucking atrocities of the world. Weirdos like this guy running around with a knife just waiting to stab somebody, right? It's amazing how simply just being with a man, right, can deter so much bullshit. So, you know, it's the reason why I oppose feminism so much is because it looks at women as equals in a world that's never going to be equal to them, right? It's not real. Simply not real. So, I don't know. People call me a bigot for that shit, but whatever. I think we would have less crime, more happy women with my worldview. And rest in peace to this woman, dude. We're going to talk about her too tonight. Probably won't be able to do it on YouTube because I'm going to have to give you guys a nice little monologue on my fucking problems with a lot of this shit. And it's definitely not going to be YouTube safe. But, you know, rest in peace to her. I was watching, I was infuriated, right? Yeah, I actually, you know, I get really angry whenever I see, you know, innocent women or children get killed, bro, or attacked. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, what the hell? Like, is this the world that we're in now? Really? And fucking incredible, bro. Sometimes I be wishing, bro, like I'm at, like when I see this shit happening, I think to myself, oh my God, if I was there, it would have been fucking, you know, watching somebody attack somebody like that. I gotta, you know, I carry my piece everywhere with me, chat. Y'all know that. You know, not just for me, but it's like, if I have the ability to act and save someone from being attacked by a maniac, you know, I'd be honored to be able to do that. And I'm not saying guessing either. It's a fucking whatever. Convene the grand jury, bro. Convene the grand jury. I'm shooting first, ask the question later, bro. Oh, I see somebody pull out a knife and try to attack somebody. I'm not thinking twice, bro. Fuck that. Fuck that. You know? Oh, you ruined your life now to save somebody. Yeah. It'll be a good chapter in autobiography, right? Anyway, let me make sure I didn't miss any of your guys' chats here. Myron, what made you join HSI but not CIA, FBI, and Secret Service? Secret Service sucks. I've done Secret Service work quite a bit. CIA is an intelligence agency. FBI, I did think about joining FBI, but I left the government. If I was still working for the government, I'd probably be in a JTTF by now. Joint Terrorism Task Force. So you guys know بقدر أتكلم عربي أحسن هسه. بكلم على العراقي. وبحضر برنامج عربية. بسمع وبكلم أبقى أحسن. All my Arab people know what I just said. But yes, that's probably, if I was still working for the Bureau, I'd probably be doing that. Or if I was still working for the government, excuse me. Had a debate with an Israeli saying that he'd kill a kid for throwing stones at him while being in a tank. Got like 2K views for the first video. What do you think there's another subject in the world that could get engagement like that? That's going to be a crazy one, bro. I mean, I'm not surprised, man. Like, that's what they do. Dude, they've been killing kids, throwing rocks. That's why like the Intifada was like such a big thing, man. Right? So someone said Jeet talk. Look, guys, Jeets are Indians. Arabs are not the same. So if you're going to be racist, you got to be racist the right way, or bigoted, right? You got to use the proper term for your bigotry, like I do, right? Jeets and Arabs are not the same, my friends, at all. One puts on deodorant, the other one doesn't. Kmart Online, I work in a medical laboratory, and I noticed that a lot of, especially from women, they can't think on their own. Yep, absolutely. Okay, I think I caught everything. And for those of you that are wondering, the reason why I want to, I'm practicing on my Arabic, as you guys can see, I got the foundation, but I still got to practice. The reason why I want to get better, well, for multiple reasons. Number one, I want to be bilingual, bro. Only knowing one language, I think, makes you stupid. And then number two, It's the language that, my family grew up with. Obviously, English is my first language, but, since I was a kid, my mom would talk to me in Arabic and I would respond in English as shit. That's retarded. I need to learn a second language. And then number 3, my goal here is to really be able to give y'all better political analysis. And the way to get the best political analysis is to simply watch Arab media. And watching Arab media and translating it for you guys, I think will give y'all a way better fucking idea of what's going on here. So yeah, and I see some of you guys are fucking shocked in the chat. Yes, my family's from Sudan, guys. That's why I can speak Arabic. It's the official language. So yeah, I do think I think every man should know a second language, by the way. FYI. I've talked about this on other podcasts, but I don't bring it up too much, but I absolutely think every single one of you guys should know another language. At least, if anything, Spanish. If anything, if you're going to be in the U.S., you're going to learn know a second language, at least know Spanish. That'll get you pretty far. Right? Yeah. Steve Red Pill, thoughts on a trade school after college? Currently pursuing my degree in kinesiology due to my passion for fitness. Got goals to work all day for 10 plus years after school. Look, Steve, I'm gonna be 1,000 with you, bro. Get a degree that's gonna get you a job in something better. A kinesiology degree, and I'm telling you this out of love, is fairly fucking useless. Especially when you can start a fitness business without being a personal trainer and having a degree. You get a PT cert. Go get a degree in accounting or something. Get a degree in accounting, or engineering, something that's going to get you a job automatically. Do the fitness shit on the side. Start up a fitness business on the side. You don't need a degree for that, bro. All right, Steve? Going to give you some game right there. You're in the OSS. It would be fucking evil for me to not tell you this. Kinesiology degrees are useless, bro. It's basically a glorified personal trainer degree. If you got time, switch your major, get a degree that's going to get you a job right out of college. Get that entry-level job, get your 50, 60, 70K per year, do your fitness business on the side. And take the money that you make from your real job, put that into your fitness business, hire Brandon Carter, go online. If you really want to train people in the gym, you can, but keep in mind that you're going to be trading time for money, and that might not be what you want to do. All right, bro? I hope that helps. Mr. B, I don't speak Arabic, but did you say something along the lines of I speak Arabic fluently? No, I said I speak... I think I said I speak like broken, but I'm trying to work on it. I'll be able to properly interrogate and understand what you're doing if I ever aspire. Just try my luck. I fluently speak 3 languages. Yeah, Arabic is not easy, bro. If you're not a native speaker, it's very difficult. Okay, Ozzy says, if women are so open about hating men, why is it still a shaming tactic to accuse a man of hating women, especially since women are so evil? Okay, Ozzy. Somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. My friend, the reason why is because everybody knows what misogyny means. Nobody knows what misandry means. That's the unfortunate reality. Okay, let's get into the show. Sorry, guys. I took a little bit to start there, but you guys know I love talking with y'all ninjas. Let's start with the first story here. Let's start with... Okay, I want to start with this. So this broke like a couple of days ago, but I thought it was fucking crazy. So Donald Trump approved the team back in 2019, okay, a Navy SEAL operation to implant some, we'll just say technology in North Korea ahead of the meeting that he had with Kim Jong-un. Very interesting. So I figured, let's cover this at the beginning of the show and, break this down.
A fascinating investigative report out today by the New York Times reads like a Hollywood action movie. The headline, how a top-secret SEAL Team 6 mission into North Korea fell apart. Now, this operation, according to the Times, took place ahead of this 2019 summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un, and it had...
JG said, second language, do you recommend dual citizenship? If you want to work for the government, no. If you want to work for the government, do not take a dual citizenship.
One major objective, to plant a high-tech electronic device...
my bad, guys. I'll increase the volume for y'all right now. There we go.
A fascinating investigative...
All right, there you go. That should be better, right?
Report out today by the New York Times reads like a Hollywood action movie. The headline, how a top-secret SEAL Team 6 mission into North Korea fell apart. Now, this operation, according to the Times, took place ahead of this 2019 summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. And it had one major objective, to plant a high-tech electronic device on North Korean soil and try to intercept Kim Jong-un's communications. It was incredibly risky. The stakes were very high considering how volatile the regime in North Korea is and their nuclear capabilities. Things definitely did not go as planned. Unarmed North Koreans were killed, and the mission has never been reported on until now. According to the New York Times, President Trump approved the training for the operation and gave approval to undertake it. Late today, he was asked about it in the Oval Office.
There's some new reporting on North Korea and this Navy SEAL incident in 2019. Can you say if the administration has engaged with North Korea on that incident since it happened recently?
Yeah.
And then can you share some recollections?
I don't know anything about it, no.
Can you-
I'd have to, I could look, but I know nothing about
Can
it.
you confirm that it happened?
He's definitely not going to confirm anything because obviously it's probably still classified. So, yeah, he's not going to say shit, dude.
I'm joined now by one of the reporters on the byline, David Phillips, national correspondent for the New York Times. David, incredible reporting on this. Can you just walk us through the overall...
Hey, guys, do me a favor. Got about 2,500 you guys watching right now. Smash that like button for me, guys. 24 to 2,500 y'all in here. Smash that like button for me on YouTube.
Step by step of the mission, how it went wrong, because obviously the planning was intricate and involving a huge submarine that got very close in North Korean waters to shore, and then actually sending SEALs onto the land.
Yeah, my colleague Matthew Cole and I uncovered this, and basically the plan was to send a massive nuclear-powered submarine about 2 football fields long right up to the North Korean coast, and then release 2 mini subs, and those are about the size of like a killer whale, and those would go almost to the shore. There, they'd released a small team of Navy SEALs who would swim to the shore and plant this electronic listening device. Now, the SEALs expected to get in and out unseen, and that was critical because if they got caught, that could spark a hostage situation.
Oh, bro, that would create an international fucking dilemma if they got caught. We're talking about super high risk, especially, you know, when we're trying to feign diplomacy.
Or escalating tensions with, like you said, a nuclear-powered or a nuclear-armed adversary. So they expected to get in and out unseen, but what they didn't notice is as they were on their way to the shore, a very small fishing boat or open-hulled boat came into the area. The SEALs at the shore only noticed when they were on land almost that this boat was there. The boat seemed to be right on top of where they had parked their mini subs, and they were really in a tight spot at that point, because if these boats discovered their subs and called in...
I will give Trump credit. Only president to go to North Korea and, you know, shake hands with Kim Jong-un, which was wild that they even made that happen. And it all started with the whole Rocket Man thing, if you guys remember.
Authorities, they might not get out. And so the SEALs, who had not yet planted the device, made a quick decision to shoot everybody on the boat. And that's what they did. Our sources say it was 2 or 3 people. Now, the SEALs then swam to the boat to make sure everyone was dead. And there they found that these weren't security forces. They didn't find any guns or uniforms to suggest that. What they found is that these were probably just locals out fishing, trying to get something to eat, who'd been caught up in this, you know, really top secret mission that they knew nothing about.
They disposed of the bodies to make, they were actually puncturing their lungs to make sure that they didn't float to the top so that they sank. They were able to get out, the SEALs were able to get out safely, and then, according to your reporting, North Korean military assets kind of swarmed the area soon after they left, but they got away safely. Did the North Korean government ever say anything about this?
That's nuts.
The North Korean government has never said anything that we can find publicly or through diplomatic channels that we know of. Now, they did seem to know that something had happened there because, as you said, there was an increase in military activity right there, right after this operation. But did they know that these people had been killed by SEALs or what the SEALs were there to do? That's not clear to us, and I'm not sure that's clear to the U.S. government. Yeah,
you pointed out the bullets were untraceable, the guns were untraceable. Apparently, they couldn't figure out. Nobody allegedly could figure out where their origin would be, or at least that was the plan. It's one of the details just struck me, and it seems like a nightmare. I mean, it shows the skill of the SEALs and the bravery. They were underwater in these mini subs that were actually filled with very cold water at about 40 degrees, and they had to stay in these subs that were full of very cold water for like 2 hours on their way to the site.
Right. It's cold, it's dark, you're cramped together, you're breathing through, a scuba mouthpiece, just like you would be if you were swimming, and you're surrounded by water. There's no dry in there.
That's crazy.
And that's part of what was a very complicated
And this is why their training is so tough. And this is why no woman has ever made it through SEAL team training.
difficult mission. And so, one of the things we really focused on in the story is this is all risk reward. The United States wanted to have a better understanding of the thinking of Kim Jong-un and his officials. They had this chance to plant this device, but then you have to think of the risk. Here's a difficult mission, and the costs of a potential failure are vast. Now, President Trump, who's in charge of making that decision, ultimately decided to go forward.
And according to your reporting, you're reporting he personally approved it and did so without notifying key members of Congress. The Times just made it clear that it didn't just casually publish the story. You withheld some sensitive information. Can you explain to people why your sources felt it was important to talk to you about this?
The most important thing is accountability. The SEALs have this Superman type of reputation in our culture, and a lot of that's deserved. They've done some really important, difficult missions, but there's a lot of failures out there that are classified that nobody ever learns about, including policymakers. And so someone like President Trump or Congress or another president may think, oh, I can rely on the SEALs to do this, and really not have an idea of how mixed their record is. So, not only that, but there are real questions of what influence this had on nuclear negotiations. In 2009, there seemed to be real progress happening. After this mission, no more progress. In fact, the two countries don't really speak, and North Korea's tested more missiles in the last couple of years than ever.
Yeah, it's a fascinating account in the New York Times. David Phillips, I really appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Yeah, absolutely nuts, man. And guys, this is for everybody out there that thinks that like the United States isn't involved in a whole bunch of, intelligence operations where we're, subverting governments and overthrowing them and shit. Bruh, we do that shit all the fucking time. So I'm not surprised that they went in there to try to install listening devices. This is what we do, man. All right, so here's a clip here that I saw that I kind of wanted you guys to see. So this comes from Hamza. This guy, he's a pro-Palestinian YouTuber / influencer. Here he is doing I think he does like these Omegle things, whatever. So he gets on one with a kid from Israel. And look what she says.
Relax.
Look at this shit, bro.
Hi, where are you from? Israel?
Yes. Yes.
I'm from Palestine. Relax. I'm from Palestine. I'm a human like
Free
you.
Israel, free Israel, free Israel, free Israel, free.
Free Israel from what? You don't like Palestine?
No, Palestine.
Why? They're children, bro. She's trying to punch me through the screen. They are taught to hate Palestinians at such a young age. They look at Palestinians as animals, unfortunately. That is just the reality. Hello.
And the reason why I want to show y'all that is because it's 100% true. Bro, the reason why, because people will say all the time, yo, how are they like blowing these kids up and killing them and everything else like that? Why do they not care? From a young age, they're taught to dislike and hate the Palestinians, bro. I'm telling y'all, man. Right? Because people say all the time, how can they indiscriminately bomb and not give a shit or whatever? They're indoctrinated from a young age. Now, here's the thing. I know what some of you guys are going to say. Well, Myron, I've seen footage of Palestinians with mock guns saying that they're going to do jihad and all this other stuff, right? I've seen footage of Palestinian kids, talking shit about Israelis or whatever. Here's the difference, though, chat, okay? And this is going to be very ugly, but it's the truth. If you go to, Gaza, you go to fucking West Bank or whatever, every single Palestinian, they'll have a family member that was killed by the IDF or a family member that was displaced during the Nakba, okay? But if you go to Israel, not every single Israeli will have a family member that was killed by a Palestinian. See the difference? So I'm not saying that one party has more justification to hate the other. But what I am saying is every kid that grows up in Palestine grows up in occupation, grows up without sovereignty, grows up without being an equal citizen, right? Grows up where someone in their family was killed by the IDF, right? Someone has been blown up by them. Someone has been disfigured by them and their family. And, you know, even Elon Musk said this. Every time you kill someone in Gaza, you basically what you do is you create 3 to 4 new members of Hamas. People that never thought about picking up an AK to fight the Israelis do it after they see that their mom has gotten blown up. Right? So there's a big difference here. So having an Israeli child hate the Palestinians makes no sense because she's saying, oh, free Israel. Israel's not being occupied. But this is the indoctrination camp that they give their kids over there, the perpetual victimhood. So yeah, it's sad, bro. That side of the world is fucking wild, bro. Absolutely wild. And I think, you know, indoctrinating kids to hate anybody is terrible. Whether teaching your Palestinian kids to hate the Israelis or having your Israeli kids hate the Palestinians. But, you know, we got to be honest here and just look at the numbers. The Palestinians are the ones that are being occupied, and then the Palestinian kids are the ones that are growing up with destabilized families in a fucking war zone, right? Where it would make sense why they dislike the Israelis. But on the Israeli side, it's like, bro, a lot of them live in safety. The worst thing that happens to Israelis is they run to a bomb shelter, right? That's the worst. But ain't nobody dying, right? Anyway, just thought that was interesting. Now we're going to react to our guy Dave Pakman, as you guys know. He's been getting quite a bit of heat because of these black money. You know, as you guys know, they had like this fund, this Democrat fund that was paying influencers, and it got uncovered a couple of days ago and has been like creating a lot of fucking problems for them. FD, and then we're going to bring Andrew Branca on as well very soon. Oh, and I got the link here for the Asheville thing. I'll drop it in the chat for you guys. If you guys want to see your boy in North Carolina, here is the link for the event, guys. The Toxic Masculinity Tour. I just posted it on YouTube. Let me. Here it is, ninjas. All right, Myron Gaines, Toxic Masculinity Tour. All right, I'm going to be there, Asheville, North Carolina, September 11th, so literally in a few days. All right. It's going to be at the Reed Plaza at 11 a.m. Reed Plaza, 11 a.m. Then we're going to have a dinner at 6. So come hang out, bro. Come meet me. I'll be out there. It's going to be a good time. I'll drop the link in here for you guys as well. Uncensored America. Me and my guy Sean are going to be there. All right, let me read some of these chats. Shout out to my niggas with the 3 gifted. Appreciate you, bro, for 3 months. Brian says, Martin, how would I be able to work for the government now if I've been so red-pilled? I'd feel like I would fail a polygraph. Well, bro, you got to be America first, my friend. If you love your country, you should be all right. Kron's one put, and just don't do drugs either. Told y'all about that too. Stay away from drugs and being a degenerate. Kron's one put, since we're on the Trump train, did you see this? Trump and fucker's telling us bullshit? Cam Cook, Myron, what's going on with America? They just raised $7 million out of the 10 for the guy who bloodily murdered that girl. This reverse pushing? What? What are you talking about, bro? You gotta be trolling. Hold on. I don't know. The link I think you sent me doesn't work. All right, let me keep going. Hey, Mark, can you bring someone on for mobile detailing? What? Mordecai? Hey, I donated at the end of yesterday's and before today's stream started. What'd you say, Mordecai? Pop in says, will you debate Matt Tardio? A few weeks ago on live, he said you called him out and he's been waiting. trying to remember who the hell that is. FD says, do you think they hate only Palestinians or all Arabs, whether they be Christian, Muslim? They hate all Arabs, bro. They hate all Arabs. They bomb churches too. They don't give a fuck about that. Goes JQ, absolute banger. Civil War. Ark Survival. You don't talk about the weapons-free fire zones in early 2000 Iraq. Vets have testified that they would shoot into civilian crowds and buses indiscriminately. Why was Cheney never charged with war crimes? The Iraq war was a fucking disaster. Emac James, hey Myron, I just woke up. What did I miss? You missed some North Korean stuff. I can't wait till Ryan comes out with his new 9/11 documentary. This from IA. Shame it won't be ready by 9/11. Yeah. But yeah, guys, September 11th, I'm going to be there. Asheville, North Carolina, Reed Plaza, 11 a.m. All right, niggas? Make sure you guys are there. All right, let's cover this. We'll cover, what time is it? It's 9:15? Yeah, we could do this, that Pakman.
Man, we really did win, didn't we? David Pakman has left the left. Of all the people. Let me play the clip for you so you can hear for yourself. There's a little nuance to it, but listen.
This dude's been in the game for like 10 to 20 years, bro. In the political commentary game on the Democrat side.
He's concerned. Nobody wants to just dive right in. Even Anna Kasparian was slow about being like the left has gone nuts. Even Dave Rubin was not, just an overnight thing. David Pakman is now exhibiting the basics of leaving the left. Did you guys know that when that viral video from Prager went out called "Why I Left the Left" from Dave Rubin, Dave didn't actually intend on stating that phrase, "I left the left." Dave's intention in that video was the left is bad. And the interpretation that they took was that Dave had left the left. And so even Rubin was doing something similar. Let me put it this way. David Pakman is saying I'm not the next Rubin while doing literally the exact same thing every disaffected liberal has done when they've gotten red pilled.
And the only reason he's saying I'm not the next Rubin is because they have this idea that Rubin.
And here's the thing, bro. Well, when it comes to being like a Democrat or a progressive or a liberal, the problem is what's progressive and liberal today is going to be conservative tomorrow. The window shifts every couple of years, right? Guys, 10 years ago, Tim Pool was considered a liberal. Now, he's considered a alt-right, even some people even say, some idiots might even say far-right individual because he platforms guys that are on the far right. Like, guys, 10 years ago, I remember when he was doing Occupy Wall Street, right? And back then, we looked at him as like a Democrat / a liberal. And even when I talk with Tim, he says himself that he's a centrist, right? He says himself he's a centrist. So, but people on the left have gone so fucking far left that they look at him as an alt-right person. And that's the problem with these guys, like Pakman and Kasparian and even David Rubin when he switched over, is what they stand for now isn't going to be considered progressive later.
Rubin was bad for doing what he did when all he did was acknowledge that the left is crazy.
Here's the clip.
Have not changed in terms of my views.
None of us have.
What has changed, as I pointed out.
And he's getting a lot of heat because he was involved in that scandal, as you guys know. Him and Tyler Cohen and a couple other people were getting money, right, getting paid up to $8,000 a month by a shadowy super PAC that was paying Democrat influencers. Now, they wrote it off as like, hey, look, this is just like a scholarship. It has no, it has no bearing on the content we make. It's just to kind of fund left-wing Democrat influencers so we could compete with the right, because they've been controlling social media for far long. Which you can make the argument that right-wing political commentators are far more relevant on social media and are doing a better job of marketing themselves, which is true, yeah, right. I've listened to a bunch of different people on the left complain about this. Hassan Piker being one of the big ones, complaining and saying, "Yo, we're losing the PR narrative." But I'll tell you why you're losing the PR narrative, because unfortunately, the people, the influencers on the left are just not cool. They're not based. They're super politically correct, and they've lost the young men. Like, bro, we don't want to sit here and have you tell us that saying women are stupid is misogynistic and we being called like these stupid ass bigoted terms, right? Like, People are just getting red pilled on women. People are getting red pilled on politics. People are getting red pilled on culture issues. And it's like, bro, people don't want to support a guy who fucking paints his fingernails black. People don't want to support a guy who dyes his hair fucking blonde, right? Like, the Democrat Party turned their back on men a long time ago. And the people that still defend the Democrat Party, Harry Sisson, Dean Withers, Kyle Kulinski, Hassan Piker, Dave Pakman, right? The Young Turks. Trying to think who else is like big on the left. Destiny, etc. Like, these guys are simply Ethan Klein. Like, no one aspires to be like any of these guys, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Right? Notice how, like, none of them are, like, in shape, really. Or, because here's the thing when it comes to men, right? It's much harder to sell to men, and it's much harder to build a strong support base of men, because men, naturally, are critical of everything that they deal with, because men live a way harder life. It's not as easy to sell to men as it is to women. And the other thing with men, right, that's very important is meritocracy, right? So if you're a dude and you're an authority figure in a niche or something like that, if you don't know what you're talking about, or if you're a fraud or whatever, that's going to create a lot of problems for you, right? So, since it's hard, since men respect meritocracy and men understand hierarchies, well, Democrats by definition, progressives by definition, don't believe in hierarchy and structure. They don't. It's a central core belief of progressivism is egalitarianism. Everybody's equal. Yeah. Right? And the problem with leftism, and this is very fucking important, let me make this distinction. It's not that progressives fight for egalitarianism when it comes to human rights. Okay? That's not the issue. They'll sit there and they'll tell you, oh, the right doesn't fight for equal rights and equal human rights between both sides, right? We're champions of human rights. No, that's not the fucking problem. The problem isn't that they sit there and say, we're fighting for human rights. No, they fight for superiority of the minority group. That's the big fucking difference.
Falcon punch!
Okay? Let's be explicitly fucking clear and specific about this. It's not that the Democrats, the progressives, and the liberals, and the whatever the fuck you want to call it, leftists, because they don't like it, they use all these stupid ass terms. And they get mad if you use different terms. It's not that they fight for equal human rights. It's that they fight for supremacy of the minority groups. That's the fucking issue. That's the key issue. Okay? And they use the white male as the perpetual bad guy, the perpetual boogeyman, the perpetual, this is who's holding you down. And people are tired of it, quite frankly. People are really tired of it. This is why the left keeps losing support. They're tired of being told, yeah, white dudes are evil and they're the ones oppressing you. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, man. That shit might have worked like 30 years ago, but nigga, we went through the Obama era. We've had a black president, black attorney general, black vice president. We got black mayors now. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here with this cap. So this is why the Democratic Party has had problems, because it's very clear that things are nice and equal. Everybody has equal opportunity, but they don't want equal opportunity. They don't want equality of opportunity. They want equality of outcome. And this is where that draws the line with a lot of conservatives, because they see the bullshit. Right? So this is why the left has lost so much support, especially from men. Right? They've lost support from white men, and then they're starting to lose support from minority men like myself too. I mean, I've been talking about this shit for a minute, right? Like, let's be honest. Most niggas are retarded, right? Let's just be honest here. I've talked about these wild discrepancies for years. How the white dude is the white man in America is continuously used as the boogeyman to perpetuate liberal agendas. It's the white man holding you back. Women, it's the white man that's holding you back. Muslims, it's the white man that's holding you back. Black people, it's the white man that's holding you back. Jews, it's the white man that's holding you back. You know, minorities. So this is why the Democrat Party has lost so much support. And since they've lost so much support and they've lost all the young men, they're trying to fund influencers to try to get these young men back. But what I'm saying is that no one respects Dean Withers. No one respects Harry Sisson. No one respects David Pakman. No one respects Ethan Klein. No one respects Hassan Piker, Kyle Kalinske, whatever. No man wants to be like any of these niggas if we're going to be honest. Like I told y'all before, men respect meritocracy and they respect hierarchies. This is something that fundamentally goes against liberalism. Liberalism does not like the structure of hierarchy and competence. They don't like that. They believe in egalitarianism for all the time. The concept of capitalism, superiority, getting what you deserve, this is antithetical to the socialism / communism / communitarian mindset of many Democrats. That's what it is. That's what it is. The concept of meritocracy and hierarchies is an inherently masculine thing that's looked at as bigoted or racist. But this is how men operate. That is precisely why the Democrat and the leftist party have ostracized men in general. And I don't know if they're going to be able to get them back, despite all their stupid ass campaigns that they try to get these guys back.
Out yesterday is I no longer believe we are all part of the same movement. There's the governance-focused, big tent, win elections and pass laws left. That's where I am. And then there's this purity test left. The ones who don't really care if we lose and sometimes seem to like it so they can say, I told you so, as long as they feel morally untainted.
Yep. That's called
they
woke.
treat compromise as corruption. They think we need a better media ecosystem must mean install CIA-approved thought leaders or something like that. So maybe we were never really part of the same movement. If I've been red-pilled about anything, maybe it's that.
Indeed.
We overlapped when convenient, and that was it. But I'm not getting red-pilled. I'm done pretending that everyone with a left-wing label is on the same page.
Blue sky
You
logo.
can stand for progress in a lot of different ways. You can want change
he's
without
cooked.
torching
I mean, this is
everyone who's
the end for
only
David Pakman on the left.
98% on your
Like
side.
this-
But no, I am not having a political awakening. I am not the next Dave Rubin. None of that.
Yeah, he is. And you know why? His views are in the gutter. Remember when he said this during the election? He was like, I'm losing so many subscribers.
And this is going to happen to every single leftist is going to be looked at more and more right wing as time passes because they get loonier and loonier on the left chat.
Holy crap, what's happening? Regular people are leaving the left. They're sick of it. They're moving on. My views haven't changed. Hey, David said the same thing. The only difference is when someone came to me and said, how many lights are there, Tim? I said 4. And they went, you're mistaken. There are 5. It says, no, I'm not. And stop lying. And if you keep lying, we're going to have problems. And David said, yeah, there's 5 lights. And now finally he's realizing he's on the wrong side of history. And so you can see the motivations of people like him. Late to the game. Why? Well, because he chose money and is willing to drop to his knees for whoever wants to pay him. Now, I will say this. I'm going to back off a little bit. Everybody should be praising David.
We're going to start getting Andrew in on the thing. But this is crazy to see, bro, because Tim dealt with the same bullshit a couple of years ago.
And saying, thank you for acknowledging this. What you're describing is how we define woke. Purity test, moralistic leftists who just want you to be part of whatever they say is true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're more concerned with, coming off a certain way than the message. And I'll give you guys a perfect example of this. You know what? I'll give you guys a perfect example of this moralistic bullshit that liberals practice, right? So I encourage all of you to watch the debate between Hassan Piker and Ethan Klein, okay? It was painful. Don't watch too much of it. You're going to get really angry. But I encourage you guys to watch it because what you guys are going to see is, because it's not often that you see two leftists discuss a hot button issue like this. So I think it's a fantastic example of what I mean here when I'm talking about the problem with the left. In that debate, despite the fact that Hassan Piker has, I would argue, the more defensible and the stronger position, he was totally fucking sidelined and hit and bunker bust, whatever you want to fucking call it, right? By Ethan Klein, because Ethan Klein didn't actually debate with him on the problems of what's going on between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Rather, what Ethan Klein did was he honed in on Hassan and called him a racist for some of the terms that he used when he was describing the Zionists and the Israelis. So instead of debating the facts and having a discussion on the problems, Hassan spent a significant amount of time on the stream defending himself so that he wouldn't be labeled a racist. And this sensitivity to being called a pejorative racial term is precisely why the left are a bunch of pussies. Listening to it. He spent more time defending himself. Oh. Hold on, chat. Let me All right, you guys should be able to hear me now. Yo, it's Zoom, bro. Every time I open up Zoom, it automatically lowers my mic. I don't know why. Every time, bro. It's good now, though. It's good now. All right, I'll re-say that again. It's fine. I'll say it again. Let me get this link out to Andrew real fast. It's fixed, bro. It's fixed. God damn, man. You niggas are still crying. It's fixed. Once I have a one in the chat and you guys can all hear, I'll say what I got to say again. That's fine. I'll repeat myself. My bad. Every time I open up a third-party platform, it fucking turns the volume down automatically. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my computer on that shit. It's stupid as fuck and it's annoying and it's very frustrating. But yeah. Yeah, anytime I open up a Twitter space or a fucking Zoom or any of these other fucking third-party applications, automatically powers my mic down. It's fucking retarded, dude. Really fucking retarded. Anyway, we're going to bring Andrew Branca here in a second. I'm going to talk self-defense and shit. All right, good. We got a bunch of ones. All right, so this is what I was saying. So, okay. So obviously Tim is talking about this, being moral bullshit, right? Prioritizing being moral over like the facts and getting shit done, right? Like, let me go ahead and just be super moral. Yes, this is a big problem in the left wing side because they're more concerned with virtue signaling, right, than tackling tough issues and saying things that might be considered uncouth or not nice. Now, with that said, a perfect example of this, of what I mean is, go watch, okay, the debate between Hassan Piker and Ethan Klein. They debated on Palestine, right? Now, despite the fact that Hassan is way more knowledgeable than him on this topic, he has the winning position because Israel at this point is indefensible, and Ethan Klein, being a progressive, defending Israel because is completely antithetical to his worldview. Hassan had the winning position, but since he's a progressive or a leftist, and so is Ethan, what Ethan did was, instead of debating the facts, he fucking basically was, deflecting and trying to attack Hassan on his calling him a racist. So instead of debating the facts, Hassan spent a significant amount of the debate trying to prove that he's not racist. Okay? And Ethan was able to successfully filibuster the fucking debate because Hassan was terrified of being called a racist. And that is the problem with the left. They're more concerned with being called pejorative racial terms than discussing the facts. So that's a perfect example of what I mean, guys, when I say that this is why they keep losing. He couldn't even debate a topic that he was superior at because he spent half the fucking time sitting there trying to say, I'm not a racist. That's bullshit, bro. That's why when people call me a racist nowadays, I'm like, all right, bro, am I a liar? Let's continue on. It's a deflection tactic that liberals use to try to make you stop telling the truth and stop make you and to stop you from showing their weak position. Because they typically have to use like the moral high ground in their debates. Anyway, let me go ahead and get Andrew in here. We'll keep playing this while we wait for Andrew to come in.
true, regardless of whether or not it's right, regardless of whether or not they'll actually win or change anything. They're self-sabotaging, and they're pure. It's a puritanical, ideological leftism, where if you deviate in any way, they cancel you. Okay, that's been woke the whole time, the cult-like adherence to liberal orthodoxy. And David's being like, wow, I'm just now realizing this. So, as much as I don't trust the guy, that's fine. The play here is to say, thank you, David. Please tell me more. What a good person you are for explaining this, and we will fracture the cult.
So, I don't know if I agree on that, just because, and I understand wanting to be accommodating. However, I don't agree that wokeness is defined by its tactics or its characteristics in operation. This is why people apply the name woke right. You know, they say, oh, right-wingers are behaving just like the left, therefore it's woke right. No, woke is gay race communism. And the thing with David Pakman is he hasn't changed his views.
It's not.
So it is.
It's not.
Okay. It is because he still has not changed any of his views, and so he wants to consolidate the existing gains of the revolution without jeopardizing it as a political project, because all of his co-freaks are so antisocial that they put people off. So he's hoping to repackage the same values in the same way. He's not reassessing his same priors. He wants the revolution to continue unfurling, but in a sustainable fashion. And just one final thing, it's hilarious that he says all of these CIA-approved people. Dude, you had the values of the entire deep state, of Goldman Sachs, of Walmart, until about 15 seconds ago. So the idea that you are some sort of renegade is quite pathetic.
So when you have, wokeness is not gay race communism. There is an element of the left that adheres to those ideologies, but that, I've argued this quite a bit, doesn't explain why there's the pro-Ukraine faction, which does not engage in arguments about critical theory, gender, or race. And it doesn't explain why people like David Pakman, who largely take an economic pro-war view that he largely ignores those progressive arguments and gay race communism, is still considered woke. And, 2 more points, Mark Warner, who is considered a moderate Democrat, is defending Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And additionally, so that's the political element. The Jaguar commercial where they espoused nothing political, but it was a weird modern art display of bald people wearing weird pastel makeup, was also called woke. Because
they're all black and androgynous.
But that doesn't explain Mark Warner. So all of these different things that are called woke, if you put an umbrella over it, you try to ask what is the lowest common denominator that allows us to define woke, and it is the cult-like adherence to liberal orthodoxy. That means David Pakman will never call out gay race communism, but he himself is not a gay race communist.
Well, liberalism is just the slow unfurling of gay race communism. Marxism and wokeness is just its eager stepchild. As far as Ukraine, the reason they support it is because they want to make it a sort of
But I'm going to pause you again, because what you're doing is you're cutting half of the woke people off because they don't hold those views. That's why that doesn't make sense.
What woke person did not fold themselves into BLM and support trans?
David Pakman.
Did he not support BLM?
He didn't call it out. He didn't question it. He largely.
He also doesn't talk about Palestine either, guys. Interestingly enough, he does not call out the Israelis. I think we got Andrew in the house. What's up, Andrew? Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let me go ahead. I'm going to put you here on screen. I'm going to make you co-host too, so you can share your screen. And I'm going to turn my camera on this side. Give me 1 sec. Hey, Chad, we got Andrew Brank in the house, man. We are going to do some breakdowns on some stuff. Here, let me. All right. Cool. All right, I'm live on right now, and they can hear you.
All right. Hey, guys.
All right. So let's go ahead and make this. Bam. Okay. Cool. Andrew, what's up, man? You want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the people real quick while I get some stuff ready?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I'm a attorney, 34 years attorney, a member of the U.S. Supreme Court Bar. I specialize in use of force law, so when you can legally shoot people in the face. I also do a lot of political and legal commentary over at my own YouTube show, The Andrew Branca Show.
All right. Awesome. So I know we got a couple of clips that you wanted to use. Do you want to, I gave you so you can literally screen share anything you want.
Well, I mean, I leave it up to you. There was a bunch of stuff. Of course, there's the woman on the train. I mean, that's just a straight up murder. So there's not much.
Yeah, there's not much there. Yeah.
you know,
can do,
legal to talk about.
Yeah, we can do any of the ones that you wanted. I know you had the Karen and the other stuff, but yeah, whatever you have, you can share it on screen.
Well, let's talk about the Ding Dong Ditch shooting.
Sure. All right.
Down in Florida, and that also ties in with the guy in Colorado who just got convicted, sentenced to 54 years for chasing people who were stealing his car. The question is, you know, you're in your house and somebody appears to be breaking into your house, or they appear to be stealing your car out on the street. What are you allowed to do? And when are you allowed to use a gun? And the fundamental question always comes down to the same thing. You're allowed to use deadly force when when you reasonably believe you're facing an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. And that can happen with these ding-dong ditch cases. Now, in the particular case in the news where the guy shot and killed the 14-year-old, I don't think this works. But in theory, you could be subject to a supposed ding-dong ditch case that looks to you reasonably like a home invasion. And if it appears as a home invasion, you're allowed to respond to it like it's a home invasion. And if it later turns out the person apparently trying to kick your door in was 14 or 13 or 12 or 11, that doesn't matter. What matters is whether or not you perceived it. By the way, this would apply to police too. So when police are serving a no-knock warrant and they're kicking in someone's door, if they're at the wrong address and the homeowner thinks he's being subject to a home invasion, he could shoot at them too, as long as he doesn't know they're cops. He thinks, reasonably believes it's a home invasion. But some of these ding-dong ditch cases, the media tries to make it sound like, well, this homeowner must have been insane. He shot and killed a 12-year-old. Well, sometimes these 12-year-olds really make it look like a home invasion. And I do have a little clip to share with you on that. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Yep.
Let's see, make sure.
I did hear
I've
about
got
the
the-
story. This happened like, what, a couple months ago, right? If I'm not mistaken?
I think a couple weeks ago down in Florida, Hillsborough County.
Yeah. Yep, we got you on yours. We can see.
Okay, so this will be a news report. So you're going to hear a newscaster talking over it. You're going to see these 5 people walking up the
Will it
street.
let you increase the big, make it all the way big on the corner there?
Let me. Oh. Well, it fills
there
my
you go.
screen.
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see you and we can see the clip now on stream.
Okay, great. So we're going to hear a news reporter talk about these 5 people were approaching a house. But then we're going to see someone actually literally kick open a home's door, turn around, point an airsoft gun, which looks just like a real gun, into the house and pull the trigger. And you hear it go clack, 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 clack. So let's watch this video. Well, I'm trying. Hold on a second.
Hillsborough County officials say 5 teenagers were seen walking around a neighborhood there late Friday night when 2 of them walked up into a home there to do the challenge. The Ring camera footage shows the teens wearing ski masks. They kick the front door in there, then fire an airsoft gun before taking off. Well, now deputies are warning parents against this dangerous challenge. It's been trending online as well.
Yeah, parents, you should warn your kids against this dangerous challenge because it'll get them shot dead.
Yeah.
If anyone's like me, I carry a gun for personal protection. I put a gun on when I wake up in the morning. I take it off when I get home at night. I go to bed. If I'm home, I'm carrying a gun. If I'm standing in my home and you kick open my front door, you point what appears to be a real gun at me and pull the trigger, you're almost certainly going to get shot. And if it turns out later that was just an airsoft gun and you're 11 years old, that doesn't matter. Legally, it makes no difference. Legally, if I had a reasonable perception, it was a home invasion and you were pointing what looked like a real gun at me, you're legally dead.
Yeah, and I do think it's important to add in here because, you know, a lot of times when I do these like self-defense breakdowns or, you know, use of force breakdowns, people get mad at me and say, oh, Myron, you're only saying that because you're former, you know, law enforcement or whatever. But I think it's important that people understand, not just from a law enforcement perspective, but even private citizens, it doesn't matter what the 20/20 hindsight is, like you were describing. You know, whether they were an 11-year-old kid and it was an airsoft gun, it goes off of what did the person who pulled the trigger reasonably believe at the time that they pulled the trigger and used that force. And I think not enough people understand this concept.
You're not required to make perfect decisions in self-defense. You're required to make reasonable decisions. What's actually true doesn't matter. All that matters is your reasonable subjective state of mind. Now, in these particular cases, the guy in Colorado who just got sentenced to 54 years chasing a couple kids who tried to steal his car, and this guy in Hillsborough County who shot the, I forget now, 14-year-old, They both made a mistake. And the law is very much in your favor if you're in your home and reasonably perceiving a home invasion or even a theft. But the moment you start chasing people down the street, you're no longer defending your castle. You don't have those benefits of those legal presumptions anymore. And that's what these guys do. And that's how people, defense of your home is the hardest self-defense scenario to screw up. It's almost impossible. But it's not actually impossible. The one way to do it is to start chasing those people down the street, because then you begin to look like the aggressor. You're not allowed to chase people down and shoot them.
Yeah, and it, you know, obviously there's always going to be exceptions, but typically, you know, if you're the one closing the distance, you kind of lose that defense.
It becomes much more difficult. I mean, there are circumstances, as you say, where that could be lawful.
For sure.
If the person you're chasing was a threat to somebody else, it could be lawful to chase them. But you would need that kind of very unusual circumstance. If they're just fleeing from an effort to steal your car, or they kicked your door and then they ran away and you're chasing them down the street, and there's no rational or reasonable view of them as still being some kind of deadly force threat, well, then if you use deadly force, you're just killing them.
What if let me ask you this, Andrew, what if they, you know, broke into your house, ran away, and they have, let's say, an expensive piece of jewelry of yours, you know, worth a significant amount of money? Would you be justified in utilizing deadly force in that position, or, you know, would it be a toss-up?
So it gets complicated now because we're actually combining two different legal justifications. One is defense of property. They stole your stuff and you want it back. And the other could be defense of persons. So they stole your stuff and they're a threat to you, right? So they stole your stuff, they're running down the street, and they have a gun. Well, you're allowed to chase them to recover your property. Unless you're in Texas, you're not allowed to use deadly force to recover property. So unless you're in Texas, you can't use your gun just to recover property. But what if you're chasing them to recover your property and they turn around and point a gun at you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then if you use your gun, it's not to recover your property, it's to defend yourself against their deadly force threat.
Yep.
The trouble is, the people who are going to be judging the legality of your use of deadly force, your shooting of that, and let's face it, it could be an 11, 12, 13-year-old black kid, and if you're a white guy like me, that's going to complicate things because now there's a racial dynamic. But the people who are judging the legality of your use of force are always doing it after the fact from a position of perfect safety and perfect 20/20 hindsight. They were not there. None of the people judging your use of force were there. The cops, you were not attacked while a cop was standing next to you. The cops are not there. The prosecutor was not there. The judge was not there. The jury was not there. And so all they know is a story of what happened. The prosecution is telling them a story about how you did it wrong. And the jury could buy that story.
Yep.
And if the jury buys that story, you're done. And if you've killed someone, you're looking at life in prison without possibility of early release. Now, there are things in life that are worth that risk. Getting killed, having a member of your family killed, that I would think is worth maybe risking having to go into prison. But if someone stole a piece of even costly stereo equipment and they're running down the street, is that worth the risk of spending the rest of your life in prison? I'm not saying it's not. Everyone has to make their own call on that. But I just want people to make an informed decision. That is what you're risking.
Yeah. All right. No, and that changes things quite a bit. Okay, and we got another clip here. Okay, this is the crazy baseball one. This is very interesting. We can blow this one up too.
Did it switch on your end?
Yes, it did switch. We can see it now. Yeah.
Okay.
We can see.
Sorry,
yeah,
I
we
didn't
can see
know.
everything. Yeah, we can see everything on your screen. And you made it bigger, so yeah, cool. We can see.
Okay, 1 second. Let me see if I can. Oh, sorry. Let me start that again.
Yeah, no worries.
So everyone knows what this is, right? This is the crazy Karen at the Phillies baseball game. A home run ball was hit into the stands. She's climbing over the seats to try to get to it. And a dude got there first. A dude running right down the aisle got there first, brought the ball back to his two kids who were with him. And she lost her mind and started giving that father, well, a piece of her mind. Dad's got the ball. Gives it to his son. Look at that. Look how happy everybody is.
That's nuts, man.
And look what Dad does. Look at his face. Look how defeated he is. And the son can't believe it. Gave the Karen the ball.
Yeah.
Folks, this isn't really a lawyer analysis. This is a man analysis.
Yeah.
All right. That father just caused terrible damage to himself and to his children. He gave up. He bent the knee to this crazy Karen in front of his son.
Yep.
He taught his son that if a loud woman is shouting at you as a man, you just do whatever she wants.
Yep.
That's okay. If that woman commits criminal battery on you, commits assault on your children, you just give her whatever she wants. That son will never look at that father again. Guys, if you're a father or about to be a father, you have two primary missions in life, and that's it. Provide and protect. Everything else is of no consequence. Taking them to the baseball games, paying for their doctor's bills, that's all great. That's all your responsibility too. But if you don't provide and protect, nothing else matters. And this guy just 1,000% failed. These children will never look at their father again and think, man, if something happens, Dad's got my back.
Yeah, I mean, I see both perspectives, right? Because, like, obviously, cucking yourself to some weird Karen is a problem. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we're in 2025. There's cameras on him. We all know that, women are above reproach nowadays thanks to feminism. How do you, how would you handle that? Like, oh, do you just tell her, like, no, get out my face, whatever?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So it's like, it just sucks because, we live in an era now where men standing up to themselves, to women, you just can't do it. I mean, the fact that she even had the audacity to walk up to him and challenge him in that way proves that we've made the world so civilized for women that she felt comfortable going up to a grown man and talking to him like that without getting consequences. Because if this was a man that did this, he wouldn't have the same boldness to go up to a guy and say, "Oh, you better give me that ball," or whatever. It was a woman that did this. So I think the fact that she did it proves that we live in a society where women aren't really held accountable for their poor decisions, and they never deal with physical consequences as such.
The genders are almost reversed here. It's like this Karen was the male and the father was a female, right? But yeah, people act like the only options here were to give up the ball or punch her in the face and throw her off the bleachers. Obviously, that would not be appropriate. Mm-hmm. But there is a middle ground. The middle ground is no, I'm not giving you the ball. Then what is she going to do? And the father and the kids were interviewed later on TV, and the father says, well, she wasn't going to take it. I just wanted her to go away. I'm sorry, that's not a good reason. If she had pulled out a gun and held it on his head, I would have said give up the ball too. Death is not worth the risk. But this was not a hill to die on. She was not going to do anything to him in front of 40,000 people, however many are there. She was going to be loud and obnoxious, and that broke him.
Yeah.
And that's pathetic.
Yeah, no, agreed. I got another clip of it here. Let me go ahead and pull it up on screen real fast so that you can see it as well. Give me one sec. Okay, boom. All right, so I think you should be able to see it on my side, right? As well? Andrew?
I see you.
You can't see the... You can't see the...
Am I seeing... Should I be seeing a baseball field right now?
Yeah, you should be seeing a baseball field.
All right, I can see that on YouTube. I don't see it in Zoom.
Oh, you don't see it on Zoom?
But I have YouTube up here too, so...
Okay, hold on. So what I'll do is... hold on. God damn it, Zoom is so annoying sometimes. Let me see if I could do it where... Okay. You can see it on YouTube, you said, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at a pitcher throwing a pitch right now.
Okay.
Sometimes you need that reset. Oh.
And Bader just unloads on this one. Deep left field, and that one is gone as Bader goes back-to-back with Brandon. What a long home run to left for Harrison Bader. It's his 15th of the year. And his third.
And look, you can see her, like, she ran and she tried to grab him. Right? Hold on. You still can't see the baseball thing?
I can see it on YouTube.
Okay.
So I'm watching the show.
Gotcha. There's a little bit of a delay here. God damn it. Why is it not? I'm trying to figure out why. Because my audience can see. I don't know why you can't see it, though, real time live. God damn it. All right.
It's his 15th of the year.
What I'm
saying
is not that different
since
from what
joining
we
the
just
Phillies,
shared.
it's 5-1.
So yeah, it looks like he was able to grab it first, right? You snooze, you lose.
Yep.
Walks away with the ball. You can see that she was like pissed off. And then she fucking chases him down and she grabs him too. That's crazy.
She grabbed. In fact, I have a still photo
And
of
look at
that.
how
If you want to
scared
see
he
it.
got. He like fucking like he like grabbed his like he literally is like, oh my god, like, the guy's a pussy.
I see people saying, "Oh, he had his fist clenched. He was getting ready to fight." I'm like, no, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was terrified.
Like you'd have to be someone who's never been in a fight to think that was a fighting stance.
hell no, he was terrified.
He was recoiling in fear.
Yeah, absolutely, he was.
Yeah, no, she actually committed a criminal battery on him. A battery is an unlawful touching. She did that. An offensive touching. She committed assault on that child. An assault is putting someone in fear of imminent harm. Just look at the kid's face when that woman comes up and grabs the father. That's a criminal assault. And she did all that. She used force to compel them to give up their property, the ball. That's a robbery. This woman should be charged with a bunch of crimes.
Oh shit, good point. Yeah, yeah, you could make the argument that this is robbery happening right then and there. Yeah, because she comes up. Here, let me go back a little bit here. So he's there with his kid.
Just imagine she never even tried for the ball, right? She never even tried for it. She just saw this guy had it, and she walked up and grabbed him and said, "Give me the ball."
Yeah.
Or else. Yeah. That's just a robbery. That's a strong arm robbery.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. Because like she grabs him, even the kid, like, so the kid sees her first. He gets shocked, like, oh shit. Terrified. Kid's trying to figure out what's going on here. He's like pointing out where the ball was. And even the kid's like, what the fuck?
And by the way, if he had shoved her on her ass, I would have been very comfortable defending his father.
Gotcha.
She was clearly the initial physical aggressor. She committed a battery. She committed an assault. He's there with his two kids. And this is a very, it's dangerous to have a fight in these bleachers, right? It's easy to get pushed over the seat. It's easy to get injured. You got to shove that person away from you. Yeah. And she's obviously a lunatic. I mean, this is not a normal conversation. This is not, oh, sir, I thought I had that ball first. She's just acting like a mad woman.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's, people might frown upon it, but yeah, him shoving her back would have been totally, from a legal perspective, probably justified.
What do they say? Equal rights, equal lefts?
Yeah, equal rights, equal lefts. and then, so check this out. So I guess the team, the stadium, whatever, people that run the stadium, they saw what happened. So this girl comes up to the kid. She said, "We saw what happened, and that's not okay."
Well, she was right. It's not okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, I saw a guy whose name I don't know. He's on social media. He's on X, but apparently he's very wealthy. He says he's going to give this father an RV and take him to the World Series, him and his kid.
Nice.
And that sounds awesome, right? Really sweet. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like we are training our men to be P words. This guy was a complete P word, and he's getting rewarded for it. And I know everyone thinks they're doing a nice thing, but when you completely wimp out like this, I'm not sure the appropriate societal response is, hey, here's a signed baseball bat, here's an RV, here's a trip to the World Series. What's that teaching people to do? And the father didn't arrange for any of that. He didn't know all these other people were going to be this generous when he gave up his son's property. He just folded. Yeah. These are other men stepping in to do the right thing. It wasn't the father who did this.
No, that's a good point. And it's crazy because I've seen this like trend of, and then hold on, I'll finish watching the clip, then I'll give you some of my commentary here. So they give him this little goodie bag or whatever. And ask him if he's okay.
Isn't that your birthday yet? A couple days. Oh, okay.
So in a couple days, it was his birthday. But no, I'll take it off screen. Hold on. But yeah, no, it's definitely, I see your perspective, man. It's definitely a problem because what's going on here is we got guys not doing what they're supposed to do as dads and letting Karens bully them, with this, feminized world that we live in. And the other thing I was going to say was I've seen this trend of people taking balls from kids. Like the other day in a tennis match, some dude snatched a tennis ball from a kid during a match.
That Polish CEO.
Yes, the Polish CEO. And it's like, what the hell's going on? What is wrong with people in general where you're at a sporting event and let the kid have the ball. Let the kid have, what's wrong with people, man? Like, what the hell?
It's a complete lack of maturity. I tell you what should have happened with his father at the ball game is 100,000 men like you and me should have gone to Amazon, bought a $15 sundress, and mailed it to him.
Yeah, no, that was pathetic. That was pathetic. I mean, I could see why maybe not retaliating in a physical manner, but giving her the ball was bad. That was really bad.
He didn't have to do anything physical.
Yeah, he didn't have
He
to.
just could have said,
out my face.
Yeah, F no. No, that's not happening. Scream all you want. That is not happening.
Yep.
The world will end. The sun will explode in 5 billion years before you get that baseball for my son.
Yeah. Yeah, and him just standing his ground like that would have been fine. But yeah, this is the America that we're in, man. Women have a lot of power and they're able to kind of just bully guys, and it is what it is. And it's an unfortunate reality of where we are. Like, this guy was too scared to fucking stand up to this woman. And then she, on her end, had the gall and felt the safety to be able to go up to him and do this. Because I'll tell you this, a man would have not approached him to the same degree, or they would have been prepared for some type of confrontation, because men understand that there's this unwritten rule where if you come at a man in a certain way, there's a very high likelihood that that could lead to physical confrontation. Women don't have to deal with this. They're immune from that liability. They're immune from that accountability of potentially getting physical violence for their stupid behavior. This is why they act the crazy way that they do.
I got to ask you, you think this father, when he gets home, has got to explain to his wife what happened? You think he's ever getting laid again?
Yeah, probably not, man. He's probably going to be even more pissed off. Like, what the hell? Why'd you let that Karen do that?
Yeah, whoever lives in this guy's community, his wife's probably available. Just saying.
More than likely. What's the other clip that you wanted to run over? I know we did that one with the feminism, but yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about the robbery, man.
There's one about out of Canada. Can you see that one?
You can share your screen. Go ahead. It should let you.
I got to share it again? Okay, let me
share it. Yeah, because I stole it from you.
Let's see. Sorry, guys. You got a boomer on this end.
Yeah, man, I'm the same way, bro. Oh, I saw this clip. This is great. This is hilarious, actually.
So this is a Canadian police chief essentially saying, if you're a Canadian and you're in your home and you're subject to a home invasion, just be the best victim you can be. That's his aspiration.
Canada's cooked, man.
Let's listen to him.
In the unlikely event that you find yourself the victim of a home invasion, we are urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands. While we don't want homeowners to feel powerless, we urge you to call 911 and do everything you can to keep yourself and loved ones safe until police arrive, and be the best witness possible. This could mean locking yourself in a room away from the perpetrators, hiding, fleeing the home, but don't engage unless absolutely necessary. But as it stands, we know the best defense for most people is to comply,
We have received information in social media that some of the criminals were going to take their criminal conduct into the neighborhoods. I would tell them, if you value your life, you probably shouldn't do that in Polk County, because the people of Polk County like guns. They have guns. I encourage them to own guns, and they're going to be in their homes tonight with their guns loaded. And if you try to break into their homes to steal, to set fires, I'm highly recommending they blow you back out of the house with their guns. So leave the community alone.
The difference between Canada and America, my friends.
Yep. Canada's, and I could speak to this too. When I was on a job, I did a case with the Canadians, a smuggling case. And just working with them, we had to do all the prosecution. We had to do all the criminal charges, file everything, because the Canadian Crown was terrified of pursuing criminal charges against these people because it was like immigration based. They didn't want to come off racist or whatever. So it's very, like, Canada just cooked in general, man. They're just absolutely cooked. Their government's cooked, super woke. Yeah.
You know, in the last 5 years, Canada's imported more Indian migrants than they have in the last 100 years combined.
Wow.
15% of the Canadian population right now is Indian migrants.
Yeah, it's over for you guys in Canada, bro.
They're
Sorry.
done. They're done. They've just drowned themselves in third world migrants.
Yeah. Well,
by the way, America's not far behind if we don't wake up, folks. It'll happen to us too if we're not careful.
Absolutely. My brother was in Toronto a couple of weeks ago, and he said he thought he was at like New Delhi or something. He was like, "What the hell's going on here?" Like, Toronto is completely. I don't even think you see white people there anymore. I don't know if anyone's in the chat is here, but yeah, dude, it's absolutely nuts what's going on.
Yeah, Vancouver's like that too. I was in Vancouver on a motorcycle trip last year, and you feel like you're in Asia.
Oh shit. Oh, yeah. Mostly, is it mostly Chinese or?
I saw a lot of Asians.
Okay.
And by the way, they're so loud. It's such a weird thing, but yeah, I mean,
Loud
they're not
Asians?
trying to be loud, but they're all talking to each other, you know, like incessantly, like a sewing machine running, except there's 100 of them in the McDonald's. It's like you feel like you're going to go deaf. It's the loudest McDonald's I've ever been in was Vancouver, Canada.
Holy shit! I didn't think that Asians were loud, man. I thought they were quiet. And I guess not.
By
in
the way, I
Canada.
should say that with the Canadian guy we just watched, I added the smoke alarm chirps, so that
Oh.
was not in the original. I just thought that was funny.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, normally I hear those chirps whenever I watch black people talking. But what else do we got here? Oh yeah, the stabbing one. That's wild. I was going to talk about that later. The Venezuela. Oh yeah, okay. This one is they blew that boat up.
This is worth talking about. Can you see the video?
I can see it. Yep, you can blow it up on your side if you want to.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. This is YouTube safe music, by the way. Happy birthday, everybody! So the reason I think this is so funny is that there's these lefties all over social media saying, "Oh my God, that's murder! They didn't get due process. They were never convicted in a trial." As if criminal procedure for a crime within the United States is applied to national security. They're like, "Well, the president doesn't have the authority to just assassinate anybody he wants." Guess what, folks? The president can assassinate anybody he wants for purposes of national security. Every president since George Washington has had that authority. And if you're not aware of that, it's because presidents do it so rarely. But they have the legal authority to do that for national security. Criminal procedure that applies when you get a reckless speeding ticket does not apply when you're engaged in chemical warfare against the United States on international waters. We just get to blow your ass up.
Yeah, and not only that, I called this when as soon as Trump got sworn in and they labeled a lot of these drug trafficking organizations as terrorist organizations. I said, bro, the game's over now because now they can utilize the brunts of the full intelligence community. They can use the military. They can use all these different avenues to go after these people like they did against the war on terror after 9/11. So that changes things significantly because before you couldn't use really the intel community to collect on on a lot of these criminals because it was not related to national security. But now they can since he labeled them a terrorist organization.
They used to have to try to shoot the engines, the outboard engines of these boats. That's what they used to do, to try to disable the boat without hurting anybody. Trump's not having any of that shit.
I do think, and this is me kind of just like, I guess, doing my hypothesis. What I think is that he's trying to, antagonize a war with Venezuela and get Maduro out of power. That's why they put his bounty up to like 50 million. He's worth more than bin Laden ever was, which is nuts. And I think it's kind of a power grab because they want to go ahead and get the oil in Venezuela because it's very resource rich, and they want him out of power. So I think, blowing up this boat, moving U.S. assets down closer to Venezuela, I think it's all in an effort to get him out of power and then eventually, install a puppet government. But yeah,
but listen, it's a dog eat dog world,
yeah,
right?
Of course,
so if you're going to be a narco terrorist nation state like Venezuela, and you're going to be smuggling chemical warfare into America, and America's going to elect a president who's going to say, you know what? Not only are we going to stop that, but we're also going to take all your shit. Sorry, you made that bet.
No, that's absolutely true. And the thing is that they've always had a problem with Maduro, and he got indicted years ago by the feds down here in Miami anyway. Him and all his people. So they don't even look at him as a legitimate leader. So I predict this is going to continue to go on because I know Marco Rubio has a hard-on for Maduro.
Well, Marco Rubio's, listen, I got to confess, I never thought much of Marco Rubio when he was a senator from Florida, of course, where you are. I thought he was very mediocre. And I thought Trump made short work of him during the, when they were running against each other for Trump's first term. But Marco Rubio, man, I don't know if it's a case of putting the right guy in the right job, but as Secretary of State, he is killing it.
I will say he's doing better than some of the other people in the cabinet. I don't like the fact that he's owned by Israel, but that's a whole other conversation. Okay, what's the next one? I'm trying to think here. What's the next one you want to hit?
The only other story was the story of the poor woman who was stabbed on the train.
Yeah, this one was heartbreaking, man. I mean, we could cover it a little bit. I'll cover it later on my show too. But if you want to give us your take on it, go for it, man.
Well, I mean, there's not really a use of force law perspective here. It's just this is just an outright murder, right? She gets on the train. She's minding her own business. She's not provoking anything. She's not engaging with this guy. And this guy he's been arrested 14 times. He's already served 6 years in prison for violence, mostly against women. This guy is on the radar screen, right? 14 times judges have decided to release this violent predator back on the community. And it just it should remind all of us that having a violent society like this is a choice. It's a choice. More than half the crime is being committed by 2% of the population that we just let out over and over and over again.
Yep.
You may not like what Trump's doing in D.C. with the National Guard, but the fact is they made like 1,700 arrests, and they arrested the right people, and the city's completely changed from what it was a month ago. If we were just willing to take those 2 to 5% of the people who are the problem and lock them up indefinitely, we would have the crime rate of Switzerland in America. And we simply choose as a society not to do that. That's insane.
Yeah, and it's because we're too concerned with, being politically correct, not hurting people's feelings, not coming off as like, oh, this is very racist or whatever. Bro, I don't give a shit. Like, and that's the big problem. It holds us back in so many different ways, this political correctness, where it puts us in very bad positions because we're more concerned with people's feelings versus doing what's right. Right? Like Chauvin, for example, perfect example. They put him in prison. He got convicted. He didn't get a fair trial whatsoever. Why? Because they looked at it like as a race issue versus a criminal issue. This guy, George Floyd, was a scumbag, right? But
well, we have a complicated dynamic in America, and unfortunately, it's statistically undeniable. And I got to say up front, this is not all black people. I mean, black people are amazing. Clarence Thomas, Thomas Sowell. I've got good friends who are black. But unfortunately, statistically, it's undeniable that most of the violent crime in America is disproportionately committed by young black men. So if you just go out in a completely colorblind fashion and arrest violent criminals, you're going to be disproportionately arresting young black men. And your jails are going to be full disproportionately of young black men. And then people cry about the over-incarceration of young black men. And we release them all from prison, and then we're releasing violent criminals upon the populace. We have to have the maturity as a society to say, listen, first of all, most of the victims of these black criminals are other black people.
Absolutely.
Okay? So this is not a black person problem. This is the small segment of the population. They have to be locked away. We're not doing anybody favors. Listen, we either put them in prison or we're all living in an open air prison with them. It's like letting the Joker out. Either they're locked up or we're locked up with them in the real world. Us, our wives, our kids. You can't sit on a light rail train without having a knife plunged into your neck and your throat cut. Why does anybody want to live in that world when we could simply lock these people up? But that's the problem. You start locking them up and you end up with a lot of young black men in prison for long periods of time. And then we act like the father in his baseball game. We go, oh, I feel bad. I'm being called a racist. And we let them all out. And that is insane. We have to have the moral fortitude to say, listen, we're not locking anybody up because they're black. If we're locking them up and they happen to be black, it's because they're a violent criminal. Just don't do that, and you don't have to go to prison.
Well, yeah, and they're not only that, but like if you look at all the major cities where there's a bunch of crime, and yeah, it's the same group of people every single time. Like Chicago, they're talking about sending a National Guard there, and they're like, oh, well, dude, we're not going to allow this. Like, no, dude, we need to, because it's starting to get ridiculous now where, and just so you know, this woman, by her not being racist, actually cost her life. She should have sat somewhere else. She shouldn't even sat next to this fucking idiot.
Right.
But because
So a racist would never have sat there.
Yeah, a racist wouldn't even have sat there because they know what it is. But with her coming from Ukraine, probably not understanding American dynamics, not knowing certain things, certain stereotypes, she gave this fucking piece of shit the benefit of the doubt, and he plunged a knife into her multiple times. And, we just got to get to a point where we understand that, we don't have a race problem in America. We got a problem with fucking race, right? People call me racist for saying that, but oh well. We need to fix this issue. It's a big fucking issue. And being nice to people and saying, oh, well, it's systemic racism, all these other stupid-ass buzz terms that, the BLM riders want to use to, cope for the fact that they're fucking scumbags. Hey, man, we just got to deal with the reality. We got a problem fucking race in America, and I said it.
And the fact is, no one knows it better than black people who live in these communities. I mean, remember, Jesse Jackson famously said—
I don't want to be around these niggas, bro. I don't want to be around them.
Right, he says, if I'm walking down the street and I see some young black men walking in my direction, I cross the street.
Yeah. I say it all the time, and people get mad, and like the black community gets mad at me for saying this shit, but I say what everyone's thinking. Like, bro, no one wants to live around black people. No one fucking trusts them. No one wants to be around them. The culture's fucked up. It's retarded. They promote degeneracy, drug trafficking, criminal activity. That's what's cool. They brag about it in the single mother households, being whores. Like, dude, no one wants to be around these niggas anymore. And it's like, we got to have a real wake-up call where you got, because here's the other problem too, with the leaders of the black community, like Tariq Nasheed and Umar, all these idiots. They sit there and they'll like blame everything on systemic racism or the white man or, you know, we're where we're at right now. We need our reparations, whatever. Instead of like holding the black community accountable, like, yo, I would argue black people nowadays have more opportunity than any other group of people. And they're culturally cool. They have all these benefits. So it's like, I don't want to hear nothing about why you're poor, or why you're selling drugs, or why you're doing all the fuck shit, bro. You guys have all the advantages compared to others, yet you guys are still fucking losers. That's why Nigerians come here and lap y'all. And they're like, oh, well, they don't really have anything to say about that shit. So it's not really a skin color or black problem, because if I get pulled over by the cops, they don't give a shit that my family's from Sudan. They just look at me like, oh yeah, you're black too. They don't care. It's not a black issue. It's a fucking behavior issue. And these guys just need to take accountability and understand, like, yo, you guys got to fucking, there's a culture problem here with, you know, you can make the argument about IQ and stuff like that too, which I do as well. But yeah, dude, we need to have a very tough discussion on this. And the black thought leaders need to stop infantilizing their community and saying everything is the white man's fault. That's another problem. They never take accountability, these fucking black thought leaders.
It reminds me of that old Chris Brown. Was it Chris? Who was it? Chris Rock.
It was Chris Rock. He said something about
right. How to survive a traffic stop, right?
Yeah.
Just give him your license and just comply with the traffic stop.
You know, and anytime you look at these like these shootings, right? Whether it's Ferguson or anything like that, the guy always was the agitator. He always, like, you know, didn't comply with the commands. They fought with the cops, whatever. Like, once you start to fight with the police, you basically forfeit, you know, how things end up, because they're going to do what they need to do to get you under control. And sometimes it's not a perfect science, whooping your ass to get you to get you to comply. You might die in the process, right? Because
it's not really the police officer that chooses how much force is going to be involved in the encounter. It's the suspect who chooses that.
Yes.
The police officer is going to use as much force as he needs to do to use his job. You're cranking up the dial.
Yeah.
If that's happening.
And I tell people this too, like
an irony with this Ukraine chick, you know, the homicide rate per 100,000 in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he was killed, is higher than the civilian death rate in Ukraine from the war. So she fled a war-torn Ukraine for safety, and she ended up in an American city that, unbeknownst to her, was more dangerous than staying in Ukraine.
Incredible, bro. Incredible. You know, and the other thing too that people need to understand is, if you use force against the cops and you resist, what they're going to do is they never match your force. They have to go above. So for example, you resist the cop, he tases you. You pull out a weapon, he's going to pull out a gun. He's not going to sit there and go one-on-one with you to the same level. They're always going to, whatever you have, they're going to go above, so they have the tactical advantage. So people don't understand this, where it's like, oh, well, I just punched him. Why did he fucking tase me? Or why did he shoot me? Because they're going to go at a higher level than you do. And people don't understand this. Once you start to resist, you basically forfeit all types of, you basically give the police full permission to whoop your ass, and deservedly so, because you shouldn't be fighting with the cops ever. Fight it out in court.
And the more that people believe that cops are stupid and tend to use too much force, the more you need to comply, right? If you think that's true, if you think cops are toothless retards, they're toothless retards with guns, dummy. All the more reason to comply.
Yep, absolutely. So people just don't get it, man, because obviously most people don't understand use of force. Most people don't understand how cops move and how they're gonna, you know, go off the use of force continuum ladder. And if you get in a fight with a cop, bro, you're basically allowing you're probably gonna get an ass whooping, and deservedly so. I don't feel sorry for anyone that ever resists from the cops if they get beat up or whatever it may be, whether it's George Floyd or Ferguson or any of these other idiots that do the dumb shit that they do. But yeah, it is what it is. Are you you want to tell anything? I know, you know, I don't want to hold you for too long. You want to tell the people where they can find you or anything like that, Andrew? Unless you want to.
Yeah, best way to find me is on YouTube. The Andrew Branca Show. Just search for that on YouTube. It'll pop right up. Mostly I do political and legal commentary, occasionally use of force stuff there as well. But we have a fun time, so check it out. You might like it.
Yeah, guys, go check him out. And we'll be trying to do this show periodically. He was sick last week, so we couldn't do it. But anytime there's like a use of force situation or something like that, we'll try to do this on Sunday nights with you guys. I think it's interesting to have, you know, self-defense attorney and a former Fed on the stream talking about this stuff. You know what I'll do next time, Andrew? I'll have a bunch of police activity shootings ready to go. We can react to those next Sunday. I think the people would enjoy those.
Sure, man. Anytime. I'm happy to do it. Happy to be here. All right, guys. Hey, have a good night, everybody.
All right, man. Later, bro. Guys, go check him out. Andrew Branca Show, YouTube channel. I'll show your thing on the channel as well. Later, Andrew.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Okay. W. Andrew, man. W. Andrew, welcome. It's always good having him on. Let me go ahead and get myself back on camera here. Nice little, you know, switch things up a little bit. It's always a good time to have Andrew on, get his expertise on things. And we'll cover some more of the Ukraine situation as well, because I can't go full ham like I want on YouTube. Where are we at here? Okay, what was the next thing? We were talking about the Pakman situation. Let's jump back on there. And as you guys know, Asheville, we are going to be there. And if you guys are wondering, here's Andrew's channel real fast. Let me show y'all, ninjas. Make sure to go check him out, guys. Andrew Branca, self-defense attorney. So, one of the homies. We'll finish watching this.
Ignored those issues, and he consistently does. It is the cult-like adherence to their orthodoxy unchallenged, which puts them in the woke camp.
I think you would find, I don't watch David Pakman's show like everyone else in this room. I have an IQ above 50. But I'm sure you would find an abundance of clips of him banging on about systemic racism or saying that Trump is committing some kind of transgenocide.
David Pakman has always played the moderate Democrat route, but never called out until now the excesses of the lunacy on the left. And so when we look at someone who's waving a Ukraine flag and they put it in their profile, what does that have to do with critical theory in any capacity?
Because it's not critical theory. It's human rights. It's the doctrine of the blank slate. And so they want Ukraine to be part of the international global liberal order through which universal human rights are unfold. And both...
Right, I hear you. The individuals in this...
All right, guys, I fixed the mic, so I should sound better now as well. As you guys know, when I'm on Zoom, I got to adjust it, so we're good now.
This country that don't know anything about critical theory will not argue in favor of communism, will actually criticize the ideas of communism, but march in lockstep with those things we define as woke. So the point is, there have been numerous prominent conservatives who have said woke is critical race theory, gender theory, gay race communism, etc. And then that isolates...
Yeah, and I got a retard in the chat saying, Myron, you're not black. He's not black. He's not claimed by black people. All right, bro. That's why nobody respects y'all niggas, man. God damn, bro. I always got a couple of stupid FBAs in my chat every single time.
Core group of personalities and the entire sphere of influence for which they control, which includes prominent liberals who are pro-war in Ukraine, pro-Taiwan, anti-China, anti-Russia. It ignores them and their influence in the similar space. So when we look at what all this whole, like David Pakman, why would I describe him as woke? Because for the longest time, he has engaged in sophistry to uphold liberal orthodoxy. But he himself, in private, there are many liberals we've had on the show that do this thing where it's like, obviously trans kids is not a good thing and we shouldn't do that. And they'll actually say things like that while trying to dance around. Pisco, who we have at the Culture War, who'll be here tomorrow, he does a lot of this. He offers up oh, you're right about these things, but then uses sophistry to try and defend the whole of liberal orthodoxy. So my point ultimately is, while we do highlight individuals that are critical theorists, gender, race, or otherwise, there are prominent left that we call woke because they will protect it while privately trying to downplay it. When they say things like, you know, I hear what you're saying.
And some idiot in the chat says, why are you defending cops? It's just weird, Myron. I defend cops because they're the only line of defense against fucking retards like you that don't understand that criminal activity is unacceptable. That's why. And I used to work in law enforcement myself. Most cops are really good people. 90% plus of them. Yeah, are there bad apples here and there? Yeah. But the reality is, when you're going through the worst thing in your life, who are you calling? You're calling 911. Not your dumb monkey ass. So shut the fuck up. Holy shit, man. That's why nobody likes y'all FBA niggas, bro. Yo, all right, go to YouTube, bro. I'm sorry. I'm going to turn the YouTube stream off. I'm turning the YouTube stream off, bro. Yo, come on over to Rumble and Kick, bro. Come on over to Rumble and Kick, guys. We've been on fucking YouTube for 2 hours now anyway. Fuck this shit. It's annoying as fuck. I'm tired of censoring myself. It's really starting to piss me off. Come on over to Rumble and Kick, bro. Rumble and Kick, guys. I'll drop the link for you guys here. Because YouTube is fucking stupid. And you can't even say what you want to say to these retarded ass niggas on here. Because there's a lot of them. You go to Kick or Rumble, guys. I got two different things you guys could jump on. Kick or Rumble. You don't have to be on fucking Rumble if you don't have it in your country. All right, I'm ending the YouTube stream here. Come on over, ninjas. End the YouTube stream here. We've been on here for almost 2.5 hours anyway. And I don't make money on YouTube. I'm demonetized on this stupid ass platform anyway. So come on over, guys. Yo, mods, spam the Kick in the Rumble chat. Spam the Kick in the Rumble links in the chat. Some dumbass nigga named Dominic Vincent. Nigga, how you gonna say fuck me for leaving YouTube, but you're in here watching, you bitch ass nigga? Bro, all right, come on over, guys. Come on over to Kick and Rumble. Kick and Rumble time, guys. Kick and Rumble. All right, I ended the fucking YouTube stream.